a gun, and police have been in pursuit. We picked it up in South LA, into Compton, into Watts, and now on East El Segundo Boulevard in Compton, still talking to somebody on that cell phone, Tim.
Yeah, exactly. You see him having a full-on conversation, talking, sticking the mic or the speaker up to his ear so you can hear it, and just, like he's having a regular Sunday afternoon drive. It's just, unusual that this guy can be able to do that. And like you said, that goes to his skill riding this motorcycle. But on the brakes here, making that right-hand turn back to the north, and head up Broadway back up towards Watts, and kind of cutting through here now, hitting a parking lot, Athens Park,
Yeah.
Another park. Look at all the families and soccer players out here. Yeah. A lot of soccer players out here, and so he's going to have to weave his way through that, and hopefully they'll be able to.
Right in the middle of the soccer game. Unbelievable.
Yeah. Parents collecting their kids and trying to get them out of harm's way, but it looks like he's kind of making some circles here, and we'll see what he does here. Hopefully the LAPD will be able to cordon off this area, but if he comes popping out, you don't know which way he's gonna go. But how scared are these folks out here just playing soccer on Wednesday evening to have this guy come driving through? But we'll see now he's behind a tree, so this is what an LA observer or tactical flight officer has to do, is see all the people running away from the units coming up there.
Here's the black and white unit. Here we go.
Hopefully he ran that guy just taunting the officers. All he's doing.
Come on.
Officers.
Look at this guy.
Yeah, that's all that was.
Little kids playing in a soccer game, and this guy, he almost hit somebody there.
Gets up in the middle of a soccer game, football game, and just sits there and taunts the officers to come after him, and then takes off. So it's these people are, the people that do this, it's just, you can't figure out what's going through their heads and why they do stuff like this. And it'll always be the same. It'll always be the same in police work and the way people act.
So Tim, we saw him stop at that one gas station. If he was able to actually fill his tank up, how much longer can he ride?
Well, it depends how much you got in here. Most of these motorcycles only carry, 2-3 gallons of fuel. So, and they can go hundreds of miles on just that small amount of gas. So it depends on how much he was able to get in there before he took off. So, I wouldn't be betting we're going to run out of gas here anytime soon. But hopefully this ends with this person deciding I can't do this anymore, and maybe it's time to give up. But right now here he's going to cut across and on the brakes, started through this intersection here. Almost got nailed by that westbound car. Yeah, you see, you saw the fishtails. He jammed on the brakes coming down that right or left side of the street, kind of threaded the needle and shot through and got out in front of that one car. And luckily, that car didn't end up hitting him. So he's riding pretty good for a suspect on a motorcycle. So they're having to deal with that. And then the officers who are chasing him have to keep public safety in mind and cannot overdrive the conditions on the roadway to stay with them, and just depend on that tactical flight officer in the air unit overhead to keep track of them and just get as close as they can, stay as close as they can, to be able to get him if he gets out on foot and be able to lock it down. But the suspect not wearing a helmet and kind of just cruising along. Now he's got another person out here who's probably been keeping an eye on this and watching, and now wants to join in. So I hope that doesn't happen to where we've seen those big groups of motorcycles join in a big herd of motorcycles going down the street. But it doesn't look like this other person is even interested in it. He's happened to see another motorcycle and cruise up. Well, I'm going to continue on home and let this guy ride. But pretty soon it's going to be very obvious there's more to it than just somebody riding it.
Oh boy, we got two of them. They're filming it. They're actually using
the phone. In front.
They're probably
the guy in front.
Probably showing it live on social media.
Probably so. They've been watching it on TV or watching it on social media. So now it's going to turn into a social media event where these two are going to be filming as they go along. The one in the white jacket there is the first one to have the filming of it. Now all three of them have gone through the intersection on a red light, and they're other units are going to try to pull over those two to get them out of the way, get them out of the problem, because they've just now, earned themselves, a ride to the station because of involving themselves in this pursuit and interfering with the pursuit. So they'll be having a discussion here later with the officers. But you can see the suspect is not getting up back on Imperial, heading to the east and just cooking right along, but staying in that same area of South LA, that same box between 88, 105, out to Alameda and over to Broadway. So that's the area he's stayed in so far.
Yeah, expanded over there to Harbor Gateway for a couple of minutes, where he was going through that park where those soccer games are going on. Probably scared a lot of people there, but now on West Imperial Highway in South Los Angeles, back where we pretty much started picking this up. And he keeps making those ridiculous, dangerous left-hand turns into oncoming traffic right in front of a black and white unit. And fortunately, the LAPD is still right on his tail.
Yeah, I mean, they're doing a real good job in the unit staying with him and not over-driving. I haven't seen any real crazy moves by the black and whites, and that's, like I said, that's their job, is not get over-involved in the pursuit to where they take away the safety of everybody else around them, but they try to stay with it as close as possible. But, it's all up to the suspect how this is going to end. It's either going to end with him hitting something and really hurting himself or hurting somebody else, or just pulling over and giving up and following directions of the officers. So totally up to that rider or that motorcycle.
Also a lot heavier traffic now coming the other way, so that kind of, he's going to have to stay on the correct side of the road at this point. Well, maybe not so much now.
Yeah, he's been using that yellow line right between cars and passing on the right. And when he sees the congestion on his side of the road, he goes all the way to the left. He hits the curb line, kind of cleans his way, along. But, I'm surprised with the lack of traffic that's out, because normally these streets are pretty full at this time of night. So it's lucking out on this pursuit that we're not running into too much more. Just, jam ups at intersections right here coming along, and he's going to cut between there. Units or people are hearing those sirens coming along as he continues northbound here. Figueroa just went through Century, so this is right under the LAX approach. Once again, for the folks who just joined us, the reason they're looking so far away is they're not allowed to, media helicopters are not allowed to fly into the LAX airspace, so they have to stay south or north to keep an eye on this. So way this guy's been operating, he has stayed in that little box, and he'll get up north here a little bit further and then start turning around and coming back to the south. Is what we've seen about 3 times now during this pursuit.
Yeah, let's we're going to put a little in a box here. About 15-20 minutes ago, you see the driver here. The live shot is in the smaller box. In the bigger box, you see the motorcycle rider, and again, this is not a motorcycle, it's a dirt bike, which which is great for off-roading, making a turn here, and he's inside. He goes to a Chevron gas station, actually pulls up to a pump, and he had just enough time to for about a minute or so to fill his tank back up. Don't know how much gas he was actually able to get, but if he was low enough, maybe he wasn't able to fill it up completely, but he suddenly pulled away. You'll see here in just a moment, and I don't know what he saw, probably a black and white unit, or maybe heard the sirens. But when he pulled away in a hurry, and he took the nozzle and he took the hose with him. And they were dragging along beside him there for about a block down there. You see it right there. And he pulls out of that gas station back into on the street, on South Alameda Street. And after a couple of moments, that nozzle and hose finally falls away. So again, not a motorcycle, a typical motorcycle that you see on the street. This is a dirt bike, which does give him an advantage when he gets into a park area, which we've seen him go through Irvin Johnson Park, as well as I think it was Athena Park. And, police are still close behind him. And, bizarre pursuit started with us in South LA and continues. And I guess, Tim, we're in that airspace where we got a problem.
Oh, yeah. Ever since the D.C. crash, the FAA has really cracked down on any flights of helicopters within the surface area of any major airport, and this is one of them. And this is the Alameda corridor they're cutting out. They're right on the edge of the surface area of LAPD or of LAX. And so if you fly up the east side, you could follow Alameda north up to about the 10 freeway, where you could then turn back to the east and go around that airspace. So that's what you're seeing here. Actually, they're on the 105 right now. I get a little off on my, once you tilted up, I saw downtown. But yeah, they're heading over to the 105, up the 105, then we'll start northbound on Alameda here to get around it. So yeah, that's really put a real camper on the media ships staying with a pursuit. But the LAPD airships can stay with it as best they can, but LAX has been known, the controllers there, to ask the air units, the police air units, to leave the airspace if it gets too congested. So right here is the Alameda corridor he's coming to. They should be turning north, heading up into the downtown area, or